Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of My LinkedIn Friends. Today, I have an awesome guest on. Her name is Francine, and she's the CEO and founder of BuddhaBooth. So Francine, thank you and welcome to the show.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate being here. So background, we can go all the way back. Born and raised in the LA area, grew up mostly in Long Beach, spent few years going back and forth to the Olympia, Washington area where my mom and sister are, and spent 10 years in the Valley of Southern California. So, kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
Did a segue through Cleveland. I always say I did time in Cleveland and ended up here in New York about, almost 15 years ago. And have three wonderful children, and they are now officially all in college.
That's it. They're out.
Fingers crossed that they're going to stay there a little longer than a week or two, like some of these other schools that keep closing. So, so I'm really excited to be able to kind of jump back into the business full time and sort of emerge from the pause, as I call it. I really spent many years raising my children and jumped around from different entrepreneurial ventures. Everything from drive-through coffee shops to being a makeup artist to coin-op games and fabric envelopes. So I had a lot of fun stuff that I did over the years, but nothing really hit me as something like, wow, this is going to be something I have to really run with that people really need, until I started BuddhaBooth.
How did BuddhaBooth come about? How did you get the idea? How did this happen?
So like many things, I desperately needed one, and I was working 4 jobs to make ends meet, and one of the ones that I was working was in noisy environments, and it just sort of put me over the edge. And I was driving home, and I'm like, I just need a freaking BuddhaBooth. and I mean, it's crazy, but that's exactly how it happened. And the name came to me, and I'm like, wow, what is that? And Siri didn't have an answer for me, and neither did Google. So I started doing some research and conjuring it up in my mind of like what it would look like. And literally the very next day, I bought the domains, and I just started going at it. I called everyone I could think of to help me bring it to life. And the original purpose of a BuddhaBooth was just to have a quiet, safe space to sit anywhere. So it doesn't matter if you're in an event, if you're at school, anywhere. Like it's just a quiet, safe space to be, like, just to help with all that sensory overload that we experience. And it wasn't really geared towards meditation per se, but it's very meditative just by the nature of sitting. And it's a really great place if you do practice meditation. It's a really nice place to do it.
How have you, been able to, I'll use the word of 2020, pivot through all this and manage to stay in business and keep it going?
Well, for starters, like everybody else, we closed down. We, shop closed, office closed, everything closed. And I was getting to the point where I knew that I couldn't stay completely closed. So I partnered with a friend who has a company called Calm City, which is a mobile meditation studio in a truck. And she's a meditation instructor. So we started doing online wellness programs, which we call rest shops. So self-care rest shops instead of workshops.
That's great.
For people who help people. So working with, actually social workers and administrators throughout the educational system, doing that, which was something that was really rewarding. It was a lot of work on our part to put those things together and do things virtually. Right. So that was one of the things we did. And in the meantime, I started working on a pop-up product that would be more for home use or, mass distribution in the companies that do have people that have to go to work still, or want to start bringing people back slowly and give them a private space. So I'm working on a product that's got a much lower price point, and I'll share a little more.
Yeah, give us a tease, a little more of a tease.
Just kind of think like, maybe corrugated. We'll leave it at that.
Oh, okay. All right.
So something would be a little bit lighter weight, and then with some customization, you can achieve the same effect. And we're using our same designs, and working on that. So I'm fingers crossed that that's something we'll be able to have to the market sometime in the next month or so. which is great. And so that's kind of how we've moved a little bit into a product that's more conducive to people
Right.
working at home, and also more affordable, and also moving into a mass manufacturing facility,
Right.
outsourcing it. So that's
Right.
also
Right.
going to make a big difference for us.
So I think that leads into my next question, which is what sort of advice or tips could you give to other entrepreneurs and business owners out there right now who are dealing with trying to figure out how to keep things going or make their own pivots, changes out there. Anything you could share.
I would say just don't stop. I think that's the, pardon me, that's, I don't want to say the death of it all. Like, really, I mean, when you stop, I mean, there wasn't a day, even if I wasn't technically going to work or working, there wasn't a day I didn't get up, get dressed, and pretend I was going to work. I mean,
Right.
because it's like you lose that that momentum, and you lose that dream, especially as an entrepreneur. You lose the dream.
Mm.
You don't want to lose a dream. I mean, I have a business where people need wellness now more than ever. They
Absolutely.
need quiet, safe spaces, and our focus right now is we're basically relaunching next week with I'll have a new sales team, and we'll have a new website, and we'll have all of this cool stuff finally getting moving with a little more LinkedIn things going on. Really focusing on essential workers, healthcare environments. I mean, we're already in some hospitals and medical centers. So we really want to focus on helping those people who, again, have to go to work every day. So my advice to anybody still working is, you know what, the pivot can be such as just changing your market a little bit. It could be focusing on a little bit different client, but just, help people who help people.
With that, I think that about does it as far as learning so much about you and also everything there is to know about BuddhaBooths. So what is the best way for people to contact you, to reach out and talk to you and find out more about BuddhaBooths, and if they have any questions, you could talk to them. What's the best way?
I'm all about a phone call, which I think is great, or a Zoom. If you want to Zoom, that's fine.
Yeah.
But just find me. I mean, that's really it. So Francine at BuddhaBooth.com, and it's BUDDHA, BuddhaBooth, BuddhaBooth.com. So Francine at BuddhaBooth.com is easy. We have a number, I think it's 844-936-9663. It's 844 Zen Zone.
There you go.
844 Zen Zone. And yeah, email's good. LinkedIn's great. Pick your method, but I'm generally quick to respond to people. I love to hear from new people, and that's frankly how most of our clients find us, just sort of reaching out.
Right.
So
that's excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you everybody for watching another episode of My LinkedIn Friends. Make sure you connect with Francine, check out BuddhaBooth, check out everything that she has to offer, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, and that's why I do the show, is to make sure everybody kind of stays connected and gets to know each other. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Chris.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely. Thanks for everybody who shares the show and has subscribed and all that. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the comments, everything. So we'll see you guys next time on My LinkedIn Friends.